Remember to unmute us so we can start.
We unmuted?
We are.
Okay. All right. All right, call to order. Does someone want to read the land acknowledgement statement? Thank you.
We are on the land which has long served as a site of meeting and exchange among indigenous peoples for thousands of years and is the home of the Western Abenaki people. The Charlotte Library honors, recognizes, and respects these peoples, especially the Abenaki, as the traditional stewards of the lands and waters on which we gather today. In that spirit, today we begin by acknowledging that we are guests in this land. We need to respect and help to protect lands within our use.
Thank you. All right, we've got meeting minutes from two meetings, the May 1st board meeting and then also the emergency meeting from May 13th. Thank you, Matt. I caught a typo and that's the only thing I found.
Yes.
Fourth line down under treasurer's report, interlibrary loan. Everything else looked great to me.
If you wouldn't mind changing the last section to say Janice instead of Janet.
Whoops. Does that happen a lot?
It used to.
Probably auto-correct.
You know, and I have a question, because I was just going off my notes, but we did call to order at 6:04. And we changed things around and then, you know, I said it's 7:30, we went into the executive session and ended at 7:55. Is that accurate or was it 6:55? I feel like
It was a long-
it must have been
6:55
6:55,
because
right?
I think
It wasn't a super long meeting or anything necessarily. You were there for a little bit and then you went and you weren't there for an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and a half, right?
I think so.
So the time.
It was a
change,
long
right?
meeting.
Just go and watch the recording.
Which I did.
Do it a second
But
time.
there's no clock.
Ah.
Where you could sort of see the
You could-
clock,
you
but I.
could-
Oh, there's no like
Um,
minute thing to see.
feel like
That had to be 6:30.
I think so.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Okay. On the
I don't
emergency,
see anything else.
Janice's last name has two N's in it on the emergency meeting.
James spelled my name all over the place.
I just had a question on procedure on executive session. When we exit, do we also cite the statute? Or
You don't have to, no, you just have to exit and then say whether or not action was taken
Okay.
during the session.
Okay. Good to know. Anybody? Anything else? All right, let's move on. Public comment.
Do we have to make a motion to approve?
Yes, thank you.
I make a motion to approve the draft of the notes from the meeting May 1st, as well as from the meeting on May 13th.
I second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? All right. Now we can move on to public comment. Nobody here.
We have a public comment, not really related to you.
Public comment.
Is that your first one?
I'm so excited.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
It is.
Oh, gosh, all the build-ups.
Mhm.
I, I know that the, library currently uses the heat pump style of heating and cooling, and there is a project or a proposed project underway right now by the Energy Commission to change over heat sources to, heat and cool by heat pump. I'm sorry, this is coming out so slowly. So, and with that project, they're proposing a couple solar panels. There would be ground mount solar panels instead of like the roof mount, so we'd be adding electrical to the town's burden, and then to compensate for that, putting in the solar. So I just wondered, really from like a town citizen perspective, well, how do the heating and cooling in the library, have you found it effective? Do you have pockets where it gets hot in the summer? Has it been? Have you ever had to use your backup heating?
We don't have a backup.
You have
They're
no backup
all
in here.
electric. So one of our things, I'll put in a plea if anybody is to get a generator or some kind of backup power for us.
Oh.
But,
So you do feel like you need to have backup power?
I think we're on, as town hall is, as a senior center is, we are on the emergency, if people need a place to go. And if we don't have power, we're not gonna be a very useful place for
Yeah.
anybody to go. And we have the best Wi-Fi in town. So it is a place that people might want to come.
Right.
But anyway, that's a digression. We haven't had any, there's sometimes, some places are warmer than others, but that's just because we have too many splits there. We have a huge system up here that manages the climate here and at the circulation desk, and then too many splits in the front part of the library, and then another ducted unit that does the back office and my office and upstairs.
You're saying too many splits, not
Mhm.
too many splits.
Too many.
Okay,
Yes,
all right,
sorry,
just making
many,
sure.
yeah. And so that's a long way of saying there was a lot of different pieces, but that seems to work pretty well because you can adjust things as you need to.
Okay, thank you, that.
Was that helpful or
It's,
just
no, it's really,
confusing?
yeah, it's really helpful. It's just like a citizen in town to know if this is the direction that makes sense for our community. And you're already doing it. And then my second public comment is to just say thank you. Thank you so much for what you do with everything that's going on right now in our federal government. It is more important than ever to know that our community has a library where they can come and access books that are expose them to concepts, ideas, and lives, people that we are actively trying to oppress. So thank you for doing what you do and for keeping your doors open to do it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, Margaret. All right, moving on to, thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
Good insight, and we can't thank Margaret enough.
This is true.
No, it's not just.
So we're gonna keep
It's
saying.
you.
We'll keep saying
The rest of the staff. We're all a team.
All right, chair's report. Margaret sent out an article from Ron Charles. He's a book reviewer in the Washington Post. I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to read that article. But I just wrote down some of the facts that he cites in the report. In the article, reading books in childhood has lasting benefits for brain health, increased cognition, lower stress, lower depression, and better academic achievement and social interaction. People who regularly read feel significantly less lonely and more connected to others. And you can reduce the risk of dementia through reading. Those were just a few of the bits of research that he cited. So I thought that was really cool. And if you missed
And
it,
that 40% of the population didn't read a book in the last year, which really stuck with me.
it stuck with me, but I didn't write it down. I think I just wanted to focus on the positives today, Matt. Yeah, 40% audio books and any type of book. So, yeah.
Is
Interesting.
that an adult population, do you know?
Well, it's a good question. I wasn't sure if it was the British population or the US population. Wasn't it a British
It
article?
was
It was from the
The
Washington
liver
Post.
but it was like the
Pool
Liverpool.
something,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it your speculation that Americans read more than? the
Oh,
British?
I was-
Good,
No.
question. No, it is not.
Oh.
Sadly.
Interesting.
If you don't follow his newsletter, he's great. I think you know about him, his Washington Post.
That was my childhood paper. The
Oh,
Post.
And yours too, Margaret, right?
no, I was the LA Times.
Oh, that's okay. All right. I can, way off. All right, that's it for me, guys. Select board update. Moving on.
I have an update for you that looks like it's on the executive session later, so that's, the only pressing thing, unless there's something that you all would like to be updated on.
Did you make a decision about crosswalks and lights at the meeting after I couldn't stay?
Oh,
Is that-
because you just couldn't stand it anymore.
Time to go and eat dinner.
We did, we moved forward with the crosswalk is there, the lights are gonna go in.
Okay, well, that was that's the only thing that sort of maybe would apply to the library that
Mhm.
was gonna happen, and I just couldn't stay, so I
Yeah,
was curious if you had made the decision.
yeah, it was approved,
Okay.
so they'll
Oh,
be
good.
putting those flashing lights in.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great. All right.
Is there a grant for that? How's that being funded?
The senior center is gonna pay for it, from
Wow,
the front of the senior
that
center.
is very nice of them.
Yes.
Hmm.
Seems to be well funded.
All right. Well, moving on.
Hmm.
All right, treasurer's report.
Well, Robert isn't here. I can give you a review if I can find it. It was trying to save paper, so
Karen, did you
your
have mine?
budget report, I got one. Your budget report is on the flip side of my report. So anyway, yeah, we're doing okay. We have, spent, I mean, everything, again, postage is an outlier because of our interlibrary loan courier service. And we have accounted for that in next year's budget, so that's good. We are over in maintenance and we did have to have some maintenance work. They had to come and replace something with the water treatment and someone had to come out and check one, speaking of the heat pumps, check one of the heat pumps. So we'll be even more over for maintenance. I think we'll be okay because we've got some other areas that we won't go over in. So, but it's always this time of year is, Susanna said, well, we could really use another, I can't remember what, but something. And so if there's money in the budget, we'll put it toward that. Once I find her email and find out what that is.
Is the water tested regularly by the health
Mhm.
department or not?
No, by Lincoln Applied Geology, they come in and do ours and town hall. I don't know about the senior center, but yeah, they test it at least every quarter.
Okay.
But what, do you know what for?
I did, but I don't remember what it was. I'm sorry. All the things that it needs to be tested for.
Bad stuff.
That's right. So far, so good. I did ask him last time I was here. I said, how's everything look? He said, it looks great. That's the best water. So
Oh,
if you need some water, we've got some water here.
no more questions.
Yeah, so that, unless you all have any questions, that's about it for that.
Nope. Nothing from me. Anybody
Okay.
else? All right, let's keep going, Margaret, with the justice report.
Sure. Yeah, so we had a banner May. It was really good. We had a lot of people check out books and a lot of people visit and a lot of people come to programs. So I was hoping I could put up a photo, but if you like the library on Facebook, you should go and look at Susanna did a really nice collage of all the indigo. We did an indigo dyeing workshop. It was
Really,
so amazing.
There's a really
Yeah,
good montage.
yeah, and beautiful. So that was one great event that happened, and thank you to Ruby Goldsmith, for she was the one who ran the workshop for us. Yeah, everything was good. I have a couple questions here for you to consider. So we have the meditation every Saturday morning,
Mhm.
and Rain Stickney, who is the person who leads that, they have decided they would like to start as a group, kind of collecting money to go to service organizations, community organizations in town. And would it be okay if they collected those donations while they were here at the library? And I looked through our policy, and such as it is, and I didn't see anything. I mean, I know you can't like, um,
Listen,
thank you, that's the word I'm looking for. But I think if they've already, this would just be them collecting, like, oh, here's my $5 and here's my, $10, and
The solicitation would take place somewhere else and the delivery. would
right,
happen here.
right. They're talking amongst themselves as their little group about what they need. So I thought that was okay, but I wanted to check with you all first if you didn't feel comfortable. She said they could find another way to do it.
Is it the equivalent of the 4-H kids collecting dues here?
Hmm. Don't know.
Maybe that's a
I'm
stupid
gonna try,
question.
no, that's a good question. Let me see if I can find her email.
So it's not for the group?
No,
What
it's
is
not
it?
for them.
Huh.
Like ships,
it's specifically for Charlotte community
Let me see, let's.
that like how ships gives away money to charity organizations.
Maybe? Yeah, no idea.
They give away quite a bit of money.
They sure do.
Yes.
I think I was really generous to New Village Farm.
Okay, here she says, I've recently conducted a survey of meditation participants to find out what charities and organizations we each support. I am finding a way to consolidate our efforts and donate or volunteer for an organization to spread the love and wellness we feel in meditation with the world. We'll vote on this in our group next week, so I guess they will make the decision here. But I wanted to check in with you too. If I were to collect donations at meditation on Saturdays at the library, would there be a conflict of interest? That's a question. But we've had other, I mean, it would just be that we would, which we've had happen before, we've had Amnesty International here share information, and knowing that the NRA, if they wanted to have a table here and share information, we
Right.
would also let them do that.
Right.
So,
and they can have a jar that says donations accepted, and that would be okay. And there is something in the policy.
well, it's just that we say in our, like in our program and our, I don't know if it's called a promotion policy, but that things that happen at the library do not necessarily
Right.
represent library perspectives or views.
Right.
In the same vein that just because a book is here doesn't mean we all
Exactly.
believe
Right.
Right.
what
Yes.
or agree with everything that's written in it.
Can I ask you a question about that? So do you think, I mean, when I see that the meditation is at the library, it feels like it's open to the public
It
and
is.
everybody is welcome to come and
They
it's
are.
an unpaid event.
Mhm.
Do you think that if they, say like are passing a jar, I guess it really depends on how they were passing it, what the feeling could be about the room, but if they were, do you feel like that could create an environment where certain individuals might feel uncomfortable returning to that program?
Yeah, it sounds like that's a good point. If there was someone new to come, say this Saturday, who's never been there before, it sounds like they have a group right now and they communicate not through the library in any way. So they are all fine with this happening, but you're right, if there were someone else, they would have to explain, so. Which might be on them, but,
I mean, is there, would it make sense that they're already communicating through email another way outside
right,
of the library?
yeah,
Could
maybe
they
it's
then
just
do
easier.
Venmo each other
Yeah.
outside and
Maybe
then
it's
it's
just easier to
anonymous?
say, let's just keep this meditation and we're not
Right, I
collecting.
mean,
anything.
then that, cause then that
Yeah.
wouldn't put anybody on the spot if they
Right.
weren't prepared for that.
Yeah.
Right, okay,
Around issues of money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
yeah. Well, and actually, I was sort of thinking of the generosity of that group, but at the same time, we wouldn't want to create a barrier where someone felt uncomfortable because they weren't able to contribute, and they're like, oh, well, I sort of unspoken is that I need to be able to contribute to organizations to come and meditate, and that is not what we would want to have happen at all.
Correct.
Okay.
Did we talk about the NRA donation jar? So if they had a table here, they could have a jar for donations?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know they could have a table here.
Right,
I think if they wanted to start soliciting donations, that might be a different.
that might be a different thing.
But they.
And
can-
same with Amnesty International.
If we're letting one in, we can't only go with the groups we agree with.
Right, right. But Amnesty didn't have a jar.
No, they had postcards that you could sign to help.
Or
Yeah.
something like
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Right, and I mean, you can buy hats and donate to the food shelf, so.
Yeah.
We do have that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Huh,
So we don't have a policy that we don't allow monetary
that's what I'm getting at.
solicitations at the library. But
I need to go get my computer. I'll be right back.
But that would also then include the food shelf.
right,
Yeah.
There's like passive versus active solicitation, right?
Mm.
Where passive solicitation of having a sign up somewhere is much less of sort of a violation of that space, a space feeling like a free space, but active solicitation of like, here's a jar, we're gonna pass it around the
Yeah,
circle.
that feels
So,
different.
yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe.
The
in this
intrusiveness
instance,
of
we
it,
could say
that's the
passive.
word.
Yeah.
It would have to be a passive solicitation if
Mhm.
we're talking about.
Any kind of
yeah.
something happening here. Yeah, that's a good distinction, I think.
Mhm.
Which could be another thing for you all to think about at some
Yeah.
point. This is kind of, I know we have, like for the meeting room policy, like if you're gonna use the meeting room, you can't, which is a little bit different, I guess, but you can't say, oh, I'm gonna use the meeting room and set up my business here and, sell whatever one would sell. You can, like, if you're giving a book talk or a demonstration, you can bring your books and sell them, and you can talk about your business, but you couldn't set up, transact business.
Okay,
Fine line.
It
yeah.
is so confusing.
So what are we deciding on this?
I mean, I just was asking for your opinion. It's sort of a library operations thing, so I don't think that you need to vote on anything. It was more, I was sort of like, oh, and my fallback is, I think I better check with the library board. So I did, and thank you, because you gave me a good way to frame it, and.
So you have what you need.
I think so, yeah,
right.
just say,
Why were you hesitant though?
to let her, well, I couldn't have put it into words the way you all did. You were much more eloquent, but I just thought, I don't know, maybe it needs to be. I didn't want to sort of,
There's two separate things. Right? It's the meditation
right,
is an opportunity for people to come and
Right.
enjoy that. And then they also happen to be like, all right now, like-minded people who all want to do a certain thing.
yes,
But those are separate activities, and so we just need to keep them separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Our knitting group, we meet here to knit, and then sometimes people take road trips to yarn stores. So you don't have to do, we don't, yeah, we're working on that. Friends of, friends of the, yeah,
friends of the knitting group.
friends of the knitting group, but you don't have to do both. So that's what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So let me ask you if this note makes sense. Meditation on Saturday would like to collect money to donate to charity organizations that need support at the library. It was thought that active monetary solicitations on library property could be problematic, but passive solicitations could be okay. Further discussion may be warranted. Does that summarize it?
You know that.
It was very good of them to ask.
Mhm.
I don't
It
know
was,
many
yeah.
people
Yeah.
think to
I
get
know,
permission.
like, they could have done it. I mean, I'm not here at 9 o'clock on
Yeah.
Saturday morning,
Yeah.
so
It's really well
who
attended.
knows what they do.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
I know.
Um,
I'm gonna have to keep an eye on
Mm-hmm.
Stretchy clothes on and everything.
it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I felt, because I was like, oh, I don't want them to feel unwelcome, but
Mm-hmm.
by the same point, and I think you bring up a good one, Natalie, we don't want other people to feel
Yeah.
unwelcome.
Yeah.
And I think she would certainly, I don't know if you know her, but she's a lovely, lovely person, and she would not want anybody to. So. I mentioned the Japan series success. Thank you to Jonathan Silverman for,
Mm.
if you, see him, say thank you. The Vermont Reads is coming up. The book they've chosen is The Light Pirate, and while they have had to cut funding for a number of things, the Vermont Humanities Council, they do have funding to go forward with Vermont Reads, so we'll be applying to get some books, and we'll be
What's the
doing
name of the Vermont Reads book? Light?
The Light Pirate.
LIGHT.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's really good.
And yeah, so we'll be doing a series of sort of climate resilience type
Huh.
programs
Check that one
around
out.
that
Cool.
in the fall.
That's a great program.
Yes.
Yeah, I like last year's book. You were the one that told me that you read it, and it was great.
Oh, it was good. That was
What was the last one?
Gather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good book.
Mhm.
It's my son's, I was reading it with my son and on his summer reading book for school.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Wow.
He's a Vermont writer too. I
Yeah.
don't know if this one is.
she grew up in
Oh, no.
Vermont.
Oh,
It's based in
wow.
Florida.
Yeah.
But,
Huh.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of wandering all around here. Cheryl's got her kickoff coming June 25th with some wild animals coming from Vin's.
Yay.
Georgia and Jake have a joint project to move collections. Now that we have more shelving and we've had a lot of patron feedback about why is F. Scott Fitzgerald in nonfiction? So we're moving all the literature back to the fiction area. So that is a joint project between Georgia and Jake to recatalog it and then move it. So he's been busy moving everything around. Jenny's been working, she's on the Quinlan Schoolhouse Committee, and they will be open for some of the Grange on the Green concerts this summer. And she's been doing some more stuff with local history. Actually, a volunteer, maybe I mentioned this before, a volunteer is digitizing letters that were written by CCS students in the 80s. And
Oh, wow.
yeah. And it must have been some nationwide program in response to I don't know if it was the AIDS epidemic or there are always so many things, or there was that severe drought in Africa, and I'm embarrassed to say I don't remember exactly when, but something triggered this sort of nationwide, write the president and tell him he needs to help these people in other countries. So these like school age appeals they're just like warm your heart. So
Wow.
So are they scanning them and
Mhm.
digitizing them? So are they searchable?
yeah, so you could go, I don't know if you can go yet, but we have a local history
Mhm.
section of the website, and there's an Omeka, and you can log in and you can look at a host of things. And these will
Interesting.
be on there too.
All right.
Susanna's been busy with setting up for indigo dyeing and lots of tech help. We would like to have an in-service day on June 24th, so we would be closed so that we can do some spring cleaning. Get stuff ready for the summer.
Day of the
We,
week is that?
that's the Tuesday, so we will still have Cheryl will still do her story time, because that's a set program. And, the Friends of the Library are having their book sale drop off. That's one of the days you can drop a book, so they'll still be open to do that, but the rest of us will be running around.
Hmm.
And we hope, since the friends are there, we can load up their cars with all the stuff that needs to go out.
Fantastic.
What's the date of the spring cleaning?
June 24th. And then just to let you know that I completed staff performance reviews in May. Thank you, Hyla, for doing the spring building report with me. I'm still waiting to hear back from our helper people about what it would cost to take care of some of these repairs. Nothing big. And yes, I'm gonna ask Nate if we can have volunteers, because we really need to get this signage put up. The select board gave us the okay, but we can't find anybody to dig the post
Oh,
holes in.
still?
Yes,
Darn.
so, again, if you know anybody. And then Natalie, you had asked about your son coming to do some homework help
Mhm.
stuff. And again, Cheryl she thinks it's great, so, well, you can explain what the thought is.
He's just was thinking that he would offer sort of free tutoring or like math practice to younger kids throughout the summer, just like little windows of time when you could bring your younger student and you could just either, if you have a math nerd like him, they can talk math, or if they need help on their summer worksheet, he could help them through it. So he's just
That's great.
Wow.
would like to.
How old is he?
He's 13. He's going into ninth grade.
Ninth grade. It's amazing.
I know.
It's great, and we've wanted to do a homework help thing for a while, so this is like, ooh, this is a little, helps
Oh.
fill that niche a
That's
little
so
bit.
great,
So-
and he is like ready to go, game to tutor, so.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what, you would just set up like a couple of hours here and when,
Yeah.
set up like a regular schedule, and then people can
He was thinking.
drop in?
Like a front porch forum post maybe,
Yeah.
to just say, these are a few days and I'll be at the library, and sign up, first come, first serve, free to anybody, just. Maybe he was thinking maybe 30-minute windows, but that might be long for younger
Yeah.
kids, but yeah, just a couple hours here and there. I don't know that he had said to me that he wanted to do it like on a set schedule throughout the summer, but I'm like, but you kind of have other things going on. I don't think you're gonna do it quite so routinely, but I think,
Might be helpful to have it at different times, because then people who might be able to do a Monday at 2,
yeah,
couldn't do a Thursday, whatever, different days.
good point.
Might work out well to get different people
Yeah,
when they need it.
pick times that would work, and you could probably advertise it on the newsletter, right?
Mhm. Yeah, if he wanted to, we
Oh.
could put it in the newsletter.
I'll have him.
You can
Pass
think
all this
of it.
information
Yeah,
on to him.
you can think about it.
Was this his idea?
Mhm.
That's
Love it.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
Very cool.
And then I forgot to attach the Vermont Community Foundation letter, but I almost feel like that is. So I met with Ron Miller, he's on the board of the Vermont, not Community Foundation, the Vermont Humanities Council,
okay.
sorry. He's also on the board of the Vermont Community Foundation, he's a busy guy. Vermont Humanities Council, and he had written a letter that appeared in the other paper, which I guess goes to South Burlington. And he was wondering if the board would consider sending that letter, signing on also. But of course, I haven't shared the letter with you, so you have no idea what I'm talking about, but I will follow up on that, and we can talk later. As I said, I feel like things are moving so quickly that what he wrote back at the beginning of May might no longer be relevant
interesting.
for June. Sadly,
What was the gist of the letter?
just, urging people to contact their congressional delegation to remind them how important the humanities and reading and libraries are to our communities, and, you know, appeal to communities
Yeah.
to further show support for those
Sure.
things, so.
Okay.
And then the last thing is, something for you to think about, and then it would require a vote, so I could get the information to you for the next meeting, which is, home card patron, but I sort of wanted discussion ahead of that. So we only, according to our policy, we only check out, library of things items to Charlotte patrons. You have to sign a waiver. But Shelburne, for instance, checks it out to anybody, and I believe they check anything out to anybody.
Mhm.
I did a little inquiry with other libraries, and what other libraries do is they say most of the things, anybody, if you've got a home card, you can come in and take this from our library, but computers and some other more valuable things that might be harder to track down from, you
Yeah.
know, that sort of one step away, they limit to their hometown patrons. So anyway, I'm happy to explain more about the library of things if anybody needs more explanation.
Mhm.
Are you asking, should we change the policy and consider?
Yes, and we've had some people come in, and actually there was a couple people from South Burlington who've come in, and I think the person who was at the desk just forgot. And,
Yeah.
you know, we want to be friendly. We don't want to say no. So they're like, okay, yeah. And it wasn't anything, you know, it would be something that was easily replaceable, but,
Maybe you could sort of make a sort of a monetary cutoff, be like hundred, I mean, whatever we could decide,
right,
$100, $250, whatever it would
Right.
be for, you know, anything of value that's in the library of things that's over that amount.
right.
You would need to be you know, a Charlotte
Right.
resident versus,
That makes
just to
sense
make it
me.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, delineate it sort of in that way, as opposed to thing by thing.
Yeah,
Are there items in the library of things that there's because they're so fragile and or expensive or both, that there's something written about how
yes.
you're on the hook if this breaks?
Okay.
Yeah, you have to
Okay.
sign that
Yeah.
waiver, and that
So that
says,
is
if you're
signed.
injured, we're not liable, and if you
Right.
break it, you are. So
And there's a value on that sheet, isn't there, of the item?
there isn't a value. It's the item that is checked out. We have a value in the library
Oh,
catalog.
okay.
I signed it for the infrared
Right,
gun.
right.
Yeah.
And if you check out the telescope, we've got laptops. The metal detector, that's a big item.
It was on front page for McIntyre.
Was it really?
Was it again?
It always is.
And then he always hops down and says, you can check it
Yeah.
out in the library.
I do the
So
same
thank him.
That just makes it easier if it doesn't come back to find the people to track them down,
Mhm.
if there's somebody that's local versus not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Does it happen that often?
Uh,
I think you said the apple pickers or.
yeah, the apple picker, the extractigator, those things seem to be the popular ones. I think a lot of other places have a similar,
Yeah,
you know, I think Shelburne's Library of Things is, you can take out a few other things there that we don't have, but I
Right.
think across the board, it's pretty similar. So.
huh,
E-bikes.
Love the e-bikes. That might be a thing to think about.
You checked it out, Matt?
Not yet.
so what do we need to do for this?
So, this was what you needed, if you don't
Oh,
mind
okay.
just talking about it, and then, I will send the policy out for the next meeting. If you have any concerns, you could talk to me directly
Is it once a year that someone comes in for a library of things
from another
thing?
town.
Yeah, twice a year,
Recently, I think we've had 3 or 4.
a year.
people. Well, in the past, like 2 months, we've had 3 or 4 people,
Oh,
and I don't know
interesting.
if it's more
Huh.
people are finding out about Library of
Yeah.
Things, and if you go to Shelburne and they let you borrow everything, you'll
Right,
come
right.
down here and think, well, how come I can't borrow?
Yeah,
And I guess I would like that continuity. I
Mhm.
mean, we might have a little bit of a different rule, which is
Right.
fine, but that people could expect, oh, I could check out the embroidery kit at the Charlotte Library and I can
Yeah.
check out the, you know, I don't know, leather making tool at the Shelburne
Right.
Library.
I guess I would say as long as everybody's just signing something that says, you know, I don't
Yeah.
return it, I'll replace it or
Mhm.
I'm on the hook for it.
Yeah,
And it doesn't necessarily, to me, I mean, I understand your point, it'd be harder to track down somebody from the islands, I guess, but maybe it doesn't happen that often and
they'd have to really want to come get that apple picking.
Mhm.
Did you find out, or do you know from Shelburne if they have trouble getting the?
I will, that's a good question. And I also think I'd like to look at their form. They have you sign a form one time and then you can continue.
Oh,
to check that
interesting.
stuff.
mm,
But when I spoke with the League of Cities and Towns, when we were putting our waiver stuff together a few years ago, they suggested having someone sign a waiver every time. There's that way, there's no confusion. You are reminding them again that they
Yep.
are on the hook for that.
Huh.
The thing is, I kind of like your idea, we'll figure it out later, of a value,
Yeah,
because it would be hard for us to replace it of a certain value.
Right.
yeah,
I mean, just like certain things, you know, you're gonna lose a few things here and there. It's
Right.
just attrition, but if it's
Mhm.
gonna be the laptop or something
yeah.
that's much
Right.
more
mhm.
financially challenging to replace, then,
Yeah,
or if, you know, or if somebody breaks it, you know, they might not be able to
Mhm.
financially
Yeah.
cover it, even if they have the best intentions.
right.
Yep.
So,
When it comes to expensive things, like an e-bike or like a laptop, are they insured here? If you don't get it back, is that theft?
Oh, that's a good question.
Can you put in an insurance claim?
I don't know.
I think we could put it on, the agenda, but that's great, that's really.
I will check with,
E-bikes are $7,000.
yeah.
How many do they have at Shelburne?
I don't know, I mean, I remember it was just, the bike guy next to my office was putting together some e-bikes, he said, yeah, these are going to Shelburne Library.
Wow.
So more than one.
There were at least two, maybe two.
Wow.
Margaret said that it was a while back, there was a grant that went out and, they jumped on it.
Huh,
So, yeah,
Great.
much more about that.
I think that's all I have.
cool. Thank you, Margaret. All right, moving on to action items. We are going to cross out board meeting policies discussion for Lebanon, New Hampshire. It just hasn't happened, so, let's scratch it. Let's keep going to the, collection development policy discussion. There's
There's our current collection
Yes.
development policy, and then there is the model policy put forth by the Department of Libraries.
So I have a question on number 5. Whenever censorship is involved, no book or library material shall be removed from the library unless required by law. If that's the case, why do we entertain complaints? Or why do we entertain reconsideration of materials?
Cause I think that's not censorship, that's not considered censorship.
Oh. Can you explain that to me then?
Well, so censorship and actually this, even looking at this language again, makes me nervous because who knows? Somebody at the White House could decide that they're gonna outlaw a book. But I believe that, censorship is, nobody should read this book, it's a terrible book.
Mm,
And it isn't, so it's sort of a more broad-based effort to get rid of something. A reconsideration of materials is, the ones that we've had here are more, I don't think this should be in this part of the collection.
oh,
I think it should be in the, this book should be in the adult.
This
book.
book isn't appropriate for kids.
Yeah,
If it's an
right.
adult.
Right, and that's nothing, we cannot stop any child from going down to the adult area and checking out, that's the parents, the caregiver, guardian's job to determine what their children check out. We are not responsible for that. But we do want to make sure that people feel comfortable being here and are finding the materials they need and not materials that are not helpful to them. So that would be a reconsideration of materials. Or it could be someone would say, for instance, I want you to get rid of all the Dr. Seuss books because, the recent news about him, and he was not, a very nice person, and we could say, all right, well, we'll take that into consideration, and that would be a committee, and probably,
Right.
consult Cheryl, and I know how Cheryl feels about Dr. Seuss, so. But, so is that helpful?
Yes,
Those examples?
that
helpful? I
much.
feel like
I understand now.
Okay.
Thank you.
So in reading the model policy.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like, they're sort of emphasizing if you don't adopt this model policy, it's sort of at your peril. And we have a policy, and I
Right.
was comparing them, and they're similar, but.
Yeah,
The model policy seems a little, I guess, more dialed in as far as, and I mean, it seems
More
like,
specific.
yeah,
yeah, more specific, and if we're putting ourselves in some litigious area by not following that policy, that seems unnecessary. So in looking at our policies, I mean, the only real difference in some ways is for the time frame for you to reconsider things. If
Mhm.
somebody gives you
right,
a request that a book get taken out, and I mean, the model policy gives you 15 days, ours gives you 10 days. Might as well take the 15 days,
Yeah.
right? And the only other thing, in the model policy, the introduction and purpose is nice to read, but
Mhm.
for our policy, I don't know if it necessarily has to be in there. Because it's just, I guess it struck me as almost purposely, divisive or taking a stand. It's like, why lead with that? I mean, I understand it, I totally agree with it, but I don't think that needs to be the first thing in the policy. Why not just start with the policy?
Yeah.
And just keep it, because sort of the brevity is better, and that's just giving us background, and that's helpful, and we can have that conversation with somebody once, but I don't know if that necessarily needs to be in our policy. Does that make sense? Thought that I had.
I could see your point,
Mhm.
and I agree, it's not like we want to be divisive right out of it, or ever, actually.
Right.
But I think that the purpose of this is, as you might recall, there was the bill S-150, I think it was,
Yeah, that's what it's
that sort of shored up the collection development responsibilities, but also sort of protections for collection development,
Okay.
so that libraries couldn't be targeted in ways that have happened in other states, and that the library's collections reflect a commitment to intellectual freedom, compliance not only with the First Amendment, but the Civil Rights Act and Vermont laws. So really stating that to
Okay.
be clear
Yeah.
that this is the basis for our policy.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed this, but the State of Vermont Department of Libraries developed this in response to
they were required by law. That part of the law that was passed was that they would develop a model collection.
Federal law.
No, the
State law.
state law.
So this has nothing to do with federal law and being in lockstep with the with the
No,
administration.
No, in fact, this is sort of staking out some territory to the extent, who knows if it'll last, but that the libraries are allowed to do this.
That's
And are,
right.
this is their responsibility.
Yes, okay,
Is there-
okay. It felt like a little defiant to being in lockstep, I
Oh, right,
guess.
that, yes, I know, that's a little scary.
Yeah, okay.
Is there anything that you feel is in our current collection development statement that would be at odds with this? There's nothing that.
No, ours is more wordy and more general, I think.
Yeah,
I think it says much of the same stuff.
mhm.
And I think the only, the one, they don't have anything about if gifts are given that we don't have to accept everything that's
Yeah.
given to them. So that might be, but the one thing that I did feel was important was that when I went to the webinar about this, this has been vetted by the
Right.
attorney for the Department of Libraries.
Oh,
Our policy has not been vetted by any attorney that I know.
I think
So-
that's a really important.
And I think
feature.
at this point, it would be really good to have something
Yeah.
that has that backing behind it, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally for us adopting basically this model policy, but it does say things like starting with, you know, alignment with the library's mission and strategic plan. I'm a little, I hadn't seen the strategic, do we have strategic
We
plan?
do.
Okay, so I need to find that, and read that. And the mission, our mission is one sentence, but,
Recently revised by Janice and Anne Marie, yes.
okay, all right.
We'll do a reading later.
Okay. But you know, I like that, it just keeps that, you know, aligned.
Mhm.
Do you get the feeling that most libraries are adopting this model policy?
I don't know, I don't know. That might be a good question to find out, but,
what do you want to do?
well, I sort of like, well, we have our own policy and it was just updated in 2024 and, you know, but in looking at other parts of the policy, the Charlotte Library policy recently, I feel like there is some work to be done to make things more streamlined and easier to understand. And I think having that legal,
Yeah, backup.
that gives me some comfort.
In the event
Sure.
that somebody challenged the board's decision on a reconsideration,
Mhm.
would the state be more or less inclined to support you in a sort of a legal issue if you had adopted their
Yeah.
policy versus having your own?
That is a good question, because I don't know that the Department of Libraries, they don't have any authority over libraries in Vermont.
Okay,
They're
Hmm.
just an advisory.
okay.
Yeah, so they can't require us to adopt this collection. But,
This meets at 250, at 150,
right, it meets the requirements of
Right.
150.
and ours
May or may not.
It does seem like everything that's in our policy as it stands is pretty much in
Yeah.
here. It's just written maybe in a way that's been vetted by a lawyer and that it seems better.
Yeah,
So,
Form is the same.
pretty much.
Yeah.
It might be that we got our form from the
Yeah.
library
Do you have a suggestion from?
at the beginning.
Yeah,
So do you think it's a good idea to adopt the model? Are we actually gonna attempt that tonight to adopt it, or are we just talking about it?
this is where I get into the
Mm.
open meeting law, because I don't think it's on the agenda that you're voting on it. So I think we'll have to wait until next month to vote on it.
And we have to fill in all the names with Charlotte. to
That's
vote on
right.
it
Yeah,
anyway.
actually, I can give you, it would be helpful if it was actually our policy and not somebody else.
Cool. Well, we'll take another look at it next month.
Okay, yes.
Well,
And if
so
you have
do
any.
we wanna
questions-
write something that aligns with the model policy and then have our town lawyer look at it? No?
I don't think so, because it's already been vetted by the state, by the,
That was my
This-
understanding
yeah.
from the workshop I attended, that if we were gonna come up with something else, or if we have another one, it is a good idea to have it reviewed by
Oh,
an attorney.
even though they've already,
No, not this one, but if we were to come up with our own
oh,
distinct from this one.
Okay, but so our own, I mean, if we just put our name where it says, your name here.
Right.
yeah.
That's fine. It doesn't need to be vetted.
That seems to be the case. I can confirm that, though.
Well, the last paragraph sort of suggests that. The
Yeah.
last paragraph of their memo.
Where are you? Oh,
Yeah, if it seeks to modify the model policy.
yeah.
Okay, I knew I read that. somewhere.
I mean, if we wanted to have a gifts provision, we could have a gifts policy.
Yes,
Good point.
Mhm.
The gifts, there's nothing in the model policy that talks about gifts. Like ours does.
right.
Right,
That seems to be the biggest.
good catch.
Yeah, and one thing I liked too was there was some more active language about material selection. The library encourages library users to recommend items for inclusion. I like that, rather than,
Mhm.
we'll consider them if you want to be bothered. And actually suggested, it does say it, I just realized this, suggested and or donated materials will be evaluated by the library staff prior to being included and must meet the library's selection criteria. That may cover the gifts
Gifts,
right
yeah.
there.
Mm.
What page are you on?
That is on, under material selection.
At the
policy.
bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, at the very bottom. I'm gonna turn the light.
Yeah, that covers it. Whoa.
That's a lot. That's it.
Right.
Ah.
Much better. Wake up. Nothing about the friends, but that paragraph does reiterate what's in the current policy about gifts.
Mhm.
Is this the only place in our policies where we talk about the friends? Like if we were to scrap this policy in favor of the model policy, are we losing?
That is a good question, and I don't, again, mysteries of the universe, I don't know why that is in there. I mean, I was at the meeting where this was approved, but I think I think that's sort of in line with the memorandum of understanding between the trustees and the Friends, just to make it clear that the board doesn't have any jurisdiction over any gifts or donations that the Friends receive, that they are a separate entity and what they do with their money I mean, it has bearing on how the library runs, because sometimes they give us, they pay for things, but only, we have to apply and provide a justification, so.
And the other thing I don't see in here is anything about, parents are responsible for their children, for what their
Oh,
children
That's
choose
interesting.
to check out. There's nothing, in the model policy
Mhm.
that covers that, at least that I
Oh, yeah.
have seen.
Is
That
that
are-
in another policy?
It's in this,
It's in
it's in our current collection development policy.
But
But what
does it show
about-
up in another
Yeah.
policy of ours?
Like you can't, like a kid under 8 can't be unattended, would it be there? I don't have that,
That might just be something to look at.
yeah.
I don't see where that is, so,
In our collection development,
yeah,
it was
Section,
the very end.
yeah,
It is responsibility of parents or
Oh.
learn about their children, only their children may read, use, borrow.
I'm gonna ask them about that. I would like to get a little clarification from the Department of Libraries, so.
and does that language change anyway, based on the new privacy thing that
Just
went
changes the
into?
age,
Just changes the age.
so
Okay.
anybody under the age of. And it doesn't really, I mean. If you're over the age of 12, you can make your account confidential, so
Right.
your parents or guardians don't know what you've checked out.
Okay,
Um,
I think that's a good question, though, like,
Yeah.
does this exist in other policies?
It might just be somewhere else. It doesn't need to
Yeah,
be.
doesn't need to be in
Yeah.
our collection development.
It does
Yeah.
exist somewhere else. Operations policy.
I think,
Entirely,
yeah, I think, and it's,
corrections thing.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
specific really to.
Yeah.
Like it's in there for that caveat of, and only their children.
Yes.
Right, to say that somebody can't stand there and say to something, you can't read that if it's not their kid.
Right,
That's a good point.
right, and maybe that's, if someone is considering do a reconsideration of materials
Right.
request, yeah, that it would be like, you can't say, yeah. But let me
Okay.
check with Department of Libraries and we'll see what I can find out.
All right.
Thank you, that was very helpful.
Are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay, does someone want to make a motion to move into executive session, inviting Margaret and Natalie?
For one VSA.
Yes, please.
You don't have it memorized by
I
now.
don't.
I move that we go into executive session to discuss the AFSCME bargaining unit, personnel matters for one BSA, section 313, inviting Margaret Woodruff and Natalie Tanner to join us.
I'll second your motion.
So you need to vote.
Oh, all in favor, right?
I'll make a motion to come out of executive session. Where we discuss town of Charlotte, AFS, and bargaining unit as per personnel, the one we would say.
Second.
Do you have to vote on it? All in favor?
So, yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Right,
Anyone opposed? All right, no decisions were made. That's okay. Good. No action was taken. Action was taken. All right, before we adjourn, our July meeting needs to get rescheduled. So let's get out calendars and then we can get out of here. My kids are home alone, so
Knows what's happening.
I
July
know.
meeting is at the 4th.
July meeting is supposed to be on
Yeah,
The third.
The third.
That's
Third.
Good.
Yeah,
We do the 10th,
Works.
move it a week.
I can do the 10th.
I'm not gonna be back until the 20th, so I likely can't, unless we do it the last weekend.
Can you call in now?
I won't be here that week off either, of the 10th, so.
So the 10th is out. The week of the 7th is out.
What about the
17th.
17th?
That could be the 17th.
17th.
I will be in Ontario, but I can call in. So 6 PM on the 17th?
It is my birthday though.
Oh.
You don't want to be here for your birthday.
Gonna be across the world.
How do they celebrate birthdays in Mongolia?
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
That board meeting.
I know, I'm just hearing this now. That's incredible.
Let's say you should tell what you do, like.
Viking or have Mongolia,
That is
Unreal.
so amazing.
that's the whole country.
This big.
The mountains in Mongolia, yeah,
Oh,
the Khangai Mountains.
That's so cool.
It will be, one of the passes will be cold, yes, it will be cold for sure. But otherwise, was it like 80 degrees, but like 30 in the morning?
Wow.
Wow.
Kind of
Expense.
desert, like being in like Moab or something.
Yeah, right.
Is it camping then?
Mhm.
We expect a full
We
report.
sure do.
And a slideshow.
A movie, a documentary.
These-
All right. I think we need to adjourn.
Mhm.
Anyone wanna? Send us off?
If we all just
If you feel so strongly about it.
Then you're still in.
To adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Have a nice night, everybody.
Yeah.
I have to jet, because